Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump live in some fancy mansion with more bathrooms than people living in the house, okay? So the Kushner-Trump residence has 6.5 bathrooms in it, to be specific. And 2 law enforcement officials said that they were declared off limits to the people protecting them from the beginning. So the Secret Service detail that is tasked with keeping these 2 individuals safe have been barred from the very beginning from using just one of the bathrooms in this mansion that has 6.5 bathrooms. But why? It's just like so needlessly cruel. Let me give you more details. Instructed not to use any of the half-dozen bathrooms inside the couple's house, the Secret Service detail assigned to President Trump's daughter and son-in-law spent months searching for a reliable restroom to use on the job. So they had a temporary solution, which was a porta potty. Like, I would have quit. Like, it's over. I have to use a porta potty for my job every day because I can't use the bathroom in this mansion. Like, anyway, so this is what they were dealing with. Porta potty situation really irritated the neighbors. Can't have a porta potty. It just doesn't look good. They want to make sure they keep their curb appeal up, and you just can't have bathrooms for people who are risking their lives to protect these idiots. The porta potty was the agency's initial solution to the protective details dilemma, but it was removed in the face of the neighborhood's protests. After that, according to the law enforcement officials, the agents began using a bathroom in a garage at the Obama's house, which the former president's protective detail had turned into a command post. So the Obamas are like, all right, we'll let you use this area as the command post. You can use the bathroom. And then it turned out that the Trump Secret Service detail created such a mess in the bathroom that the Secret Service detail for the Obamas were like, no, we can't do this. You can't use this bathroom anymore. Sorry. At one point, they had to drive a mile out to get to Vice President Mike Pence's location and use the bathroom there. Okay, there's more details. This story, by the way, this was like a shockingly long piece on the bathroom saga. It was amazing, but I want to hear what you guys think.
I like the post game.
Go ahead.
I think with Ivanka, she's just being classist. I think with Jared, he's following the adage, "Don't shit where you eat." That's why he doesn't want people near the toilet. I'm not entirely sure. I'm with you. I don't know how long I would stay. I'll be totally frank. If I was a security guard, and you have to be impassioned deeply on some level that what you're doing is protecting the soul of the nation, or you're protecting these figures who are instrumental to American democracy as a whole, or something like that. And when you're in the middle of that job, if the people you're working for are like, by the way, I'd prefer if you just don't poo. I would be like, well, that's unusual. And he's like, yeah, you can't poo here. I prefer if you poo outside. I don't know. That would be very demoralizing. That might actually just change my entire view on America as a concept, to be totally honest with you.
I'm curious as to how many of these little scoops we're going to have trickle out over the next 4 years. We are going to be hearing so many random things about bathroom, all the little details. I already knew these people were trash buckets, but just imagine
trash buckets.
I came up with 4 poop puns before I got on here, but this is what we do.
No, it's okay. Our audience doesn't give a crap. They love the puns. They're enjoying it. But I'm actually looking forward to these scoops because I'm
big massive dumps
in need of something. No, they call them dumps, big dumps, as Trump has said. No, but I used to kind of poo-poo these kinds of stories, right? Because I thought no, there's so many important things to cover, and we do cover pretty heavy stuff. But I'm looking forward to more and more of these kinds of stories coming out, just to break up just the devastation the reality of what's happening in this country right now. And also like to really show who the Trumps are, like you can really tell who a person is based on how they treat someone who doesn't have as much power as them, right? And so think about how Donald Trump had no problem putting the health of Secret Service agents at risk just so he can do like a cutesy little COVID drive-by when he had COVID and was getting treatment, at the hospital. Like he didn't care about the Secret Service detail that was locked up in that SUV with the windows up. Like he didn't care about them. And again, like as someone who will literally lie to flight attendants about how I'm pregnant and I need to use the bathroom right away, even though the fasten your seatbelt sign is on, not serving as an obstacle to people using the bathroom, unacceptable in every way, unacceptable. Like it's gross in every way. People need to use the bathroom. Why are you making it difficult for them? The porta potty thing is insulting. Like, why are you making them use a porta potty when you have 6.5 bathrooms? Like, what is the problem?
But also, why do they need 6.5 bathrooms? What? How many members are there in this household?
Well, they do have kids. I don't know how many. There's 5? Oh, they have 3 kids. Okay, so 5 people in the household. So they still have a bathroom and a half more than people who live in that house.
Yeah, I'm just glad, dump Trump.
Right now. Yes.
Speaking of gross and horrifying, how is Mike Pence involved in all this?
So Mike Pence is actually kind of the good guy because he's like, I'm a mile away from Ivanka and Kushner, Ivanka and Jared, but I'll let you use my bathroom. And they were doing that for a while. They were using, Mike Pence's bathroom. But when you gotta go, right? When nature calls, you must listen. And so driving out a mile might not sound like a big deal, but I guess it turned out to be a pretty big deal. So in the end, I think they just built, a special, the agents assigned to the president's daughter and son-in-law began driving a mile to Pence's home at the Naval Observatory, where they were allowed to use a bathroom in a standalone guard station. If they didn't have time for that excursion, the law enforcement officials said they relied on the hospitality of nearby restaurants. It's so messed up.
You gotta be kidding.
It's so messed up. Once we have private businesses subsidizing something, right? Like.
Official office of the presidency. I have to get in right now.
Can you imagine
government business?
Starbucks, like the Secret Service people have to be me on like a messy like Saturday night. I need to get in because I've got nowhere else to go. This is crazy.
It is crazy. And so one other thing though, so they also kind of just sneak into the house when Jared and Ivanka aren't there. That was kind of like the final part of, again, very long, lengthy Washington Post piece. On a recent Tuesday, there was no sign of activity at the Kushner family's residence. A door to one of those SUVs opened. A man wearing a dark suit, badge, and crimson tie walked purposefully across the street and disappeared behind the house, whose basement is being rented by the US government. 5 minutes later, he reemerged, recrossed the street, and stepped back into his vehicle, 10 pounds lighter. I added the last part.
Big, massive dumps.
Release the Kraken. So bad for them. Like who's the stool pigeon who like leaked this story in the first place? Like how do we even know about this?
And that's the thing, like someone within that detail was salty enough about what happened, and I don't blame them that they leaked this. They leaked this to reporters.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.